So you have got 3 ways to connect copper pipe: solder, ProPress, and SharkBite. And everybody has got an opinion on which one is the best. Some guys swear by solder because that is how they learned it 30 years ago. Other guys say ProPress is the future and solder is a dinosaur. And then you have got SharkBite, which some plumbers will not even talk about in polite company. Well, I have used all 3 of these methods extensively on commercial jobs, residential repairs, you name it. And today I'm going to break down exactly how each one works, when you should use it, and which connection is actually the strongest. Stick around to the end because I am going to share a tip that can save you from a callback that could cost you hundreds of dollars. Let us get into it. Here is the thing. Connecting copper is one of the most fundamental skills in plumbing, and getting it right matters more than almost anything else you do on a job. A bad connection does not just leak. It can flood a house, destroy drywall, ruin cabinets, and turn a simple repair into a 5-figure insurance claim. So understanding these 3 methods and knowing when to reach for each one is worth every minute of your time. Let me start by giving you the big picture on all 3 methods so you know what we are dealing with before we go deep on each one. Solder is the traditional method. You have been doing it for over 100 years in plumbing. You clean the pipe and the fitting, apply flux, heat the joint with a torch, and let capillary action draw the solder into the gap between the pipe and the fitting. When it cools, you have got a permanent metallurgical bond. That joint is not going anywhere. ProPress is the newer kid on the block, at least compared to solder. It has been around since the late 90s, but really started gaining traction in commercial work over the last 15 to 20 years. You cut your pipe, ream it, slide on a specially engineered fitting that has an EPDM rubber O-ring inside, and then you use a pressing tool that applies roughly 3,000 pounds of force to crimp that fitting onto the pipe. It creates a mechanical connection that is rated for some serious pressure. Then you have got SharkBite, which is a push-to-connect fitting. You cut your pipe, you clean it up, you mark your depth, and you literally just push the fitting onto the pipe. There is a stainless steel grab ring with teeth inside that bites into the copper, and an O-ring that creates the seal. No tools required beyond a pipe cutter and a deburring tool. Sounds easy, right? Well, easy is not always better, and we are going to talk about why. Now let us talk about what you actually need for each method, because the tool and material cost is a big part of this decision. For solder, you need a torch. I like a self-igniting MAPP gas torch for most residential work. You need lead-free solder, flux, a flux brush, emery cloth or sandpaper, a pipe cutter, and a reaming tool. Honestly, you can get set up for soldering for somewhere between $75 and $150 depending on what you already have in your bag. That is about as affordable as it gets. ProPress is a completely different story on cost. The pressing tool itself, even a small one, is going to run you somewhere between $1,000 and $2,500. And that is just for copper fittings. If you want to do gas work with MegaPress, you are looking at another set of jaws, which is another couple thousand. So you could easily have $4,000 or more invested before you press your first fitting. The fittings themselves also cost significantly more than standard copper solder fittings. We are talking 3 to 5 times more per fitting, depending on the size. SharkBite is the cheapest to get started with. You do not need any special tools. A pipe cutter, a deburring tool, and maybe a depth gauge tool or a marker. But the fittings themselves are not cheap either. 3/4-inch SharkBite coupling will run you somewhere around $8 to $12, where a standard copper coupling for soldering is under $2. So you are paying for that convenience every single time. By the way, if you are finding this helpful, you should know this is just a taste of what I have put into my book. 50 Easy Plumbing Fixes That Will Save You $10,000. It covers everything from leaky faucets to running toilets, step by step with diagrams. You can grab your copy by scanning the QR code on screen right now, or just use the first link in the description below. All right, let us keep going. Let me walk you through solder connections and why they have been the gold standard for so long. When you solder a joint correctly, you are creating a bond where the solder actually flows into the gap between the pipe and the fitting through capillary action. That gap is tiny, usually just a few thousandths of an inch. And when that molten solder fills it and cools, it creates an incredibly strong metallurgical bond that essentially fuses the pipe and fitting together. Here is how I do it. First, I cut the pipe square with a tubing cutter. A clean square cut matters more than people think. Then I ream the inside to remove any burrs. Those burrs will restrict flow and cause turbulence that can wear the pipe from the inside over time. Next, I clean the outside of the pipe and the inside of the fitting with emery cloth until both surfaces are shiny bright copper. You want to see that fresh copper color, no oxidation, no tarnish. Then I apply a thin, even coat of flux to both surfaces. Flux is what keeps the copper from oxidizing when you heat it and allows the solder to flow properly. Now the torch. I heat the fitting, not the pipe. A lot of people make that mistake. You want the fitting to draw the heat and pull the solder in. I heat the back side of the fitting and touch the solder to the front. When the temperature is right, that solder will get sucked right into the joint and you will see a nice silver ring all the way around. That is when you know you have got a good joint. The whole process takes maybe 2 to 3 minutes per joint once you get comfortable with it. The strength here is unquestionable. A properly soldered joint on 3/4 inch copper is rated well above 200 psi, which is way more than any residential water system will ever see. Most homes run somewhere between 40 and 80 psi. The joint will outlast the pipe itself in most cases. The downside? You have got an open flame. That means hot work permits on commercial jobs, fire watch requirements, and you have got to be careful around wood framing, insulation, and anything flammable. And if there is any water left in the line, even a trickle, you are going to have a very hard time getting that joint to take. Water absorbs heat faster than you can apply it, and the solder will not flow. That is where ProPress really shines. ProPress is a mechanical connection, and it is a good one. Here is the process. Cut your pipe with a tubing cutter, just like solder. Ream it to remove burrs, same as solder. But here is where it gets different. You do not need to clean the outside of the pipe. You do not need flux. You slide the ProPress fitting on. Make sure your pipe is inserted all the way to the fitting stop, and then you grab your pressing tool. Line up the jaws on the bead of the fitting and pull the trigger. About 3 to 4 seconds later, that fitting is crimped with roughly 3,000 pounds of force. The EPDM O-ring inside creates a watertight seal, and the deformed copper fitting grips the pipe mechanically. Total time per connection? About 30 seconds. Compare that to 2 or 3 minutes for solder. On a big commercial job with hundreds of connections, the time savings is enormous. I have run projects where switching to ProPress literally cut our install time in half. And when labor is your biggest cost on any job that matters. ProPress fittings are rated up to 600 pounds per square inch at 250 degrees Fahrenheit for water and up to 200 pounds per square inch at 180 degrees for air. Those ratings exceed anything you will encounter in residential or most commercial applications. The manufacturer rates the life expectancy at about 50 years, and honestly, I think the copper body will last longer than that. The real question, long term, is how the EPDM rubber holds up over decades. The biggest advantage of ProPress besides speed, no flame and no dry pipe requirement. If you are under a pier and beam house and the gate valve will not shut off all the way and water is still trickling through the line, you can still make a ProPress connection. Try that with solder and you will be there all day, trying to get that water out by blowing it, vacuuming it, stuffing bread in the pipe. Whatever trick you have heard, ProPress does not care. Water in the line? No problem. Press it and move on. Now, SharkBite. Look, I know SharkBite has its fans, and I will be fair here. SharkBite push-to-connect fittings do work. They are rated for 200 pounds per square inch at 200 degrees Fahrenheit, which technically covers residential water pressure. The installation is dead simple. Cut your pipe, deburr it, mark your insertion depth, which is usually about 1 inch for 3/4 inch pipe, and push the fitting on until it hits the stop. Here is my issue with SharkBite, and I am going to be straight with you. It is a push connection with a grab ring and an O-ring. There is no metallurgical bond like solder. There is no 3,000 pounds of mechanical crimping force like ProPress. You are relying on a small stainless steel ring with teeth to grip the outside of the pipe, and a rubber O-ring to create the seal. Can it hold? Yes, it can. Will it hold for 50 years behind a wall? That is where I start to get uncomfortable. I have seen SharkBite fittings that have been in service for 10 years with no issues. I have also seen them blow off pipes because the pipe was not deburred properly, or the insertion depth was not right, or somebody bumped the pipe and created just enough lateral force to compromise the connection. When you are putting something behind drywall or under a slab, I want more security than a push fitting gives me. SharkBite is fantastic for temporary repairs and emergency situations. Your water heater is leaking at 10 o'clock at night and you need to cap a line until the plumber comes tomorrow. SharkBite is perfect for that. But for permanent installations, especially behind walls or in inaccessible areas, I reach for solder or ProPress every single time. Let me go over some common issues you might run into with each method and how to handle them. With solder, the number one problem I see is a joint that will not take. 9 times out of 10, this is because there is moisture in the line. Even a tiny bit of steam will prevent the solder from flowing. The fix is to drain the line completely. Open faucets below the work area, use a wet vac if you have to. Some guys stuff white bread into the pipe to absorb the last bit of moisture. It dissolves and flushes out when you turn the water back on. Another common solder issue is a cold joint, which looks grainy and dull instead of smooth and shiny. That means you did not get the fitting hot enough. Clean it, reflux, and reheat. With ProPress, the most common mistake is not reaming the pipe after cutting. Those burrs can damage the EPDM O-ring when you insert the pipe, and that damaged O-ring will leak. Always ream. Another issue is not inserting the pipe fully to the fitting stop. If the pipe is not seated all the way, the press can deform the fitting in a way that does not create a proper seal. I always mark my insertion depth with a marker so I can visually confirm the pipe is fully seated before I press. Also, make sure you are using the correct jaw size for your fitting. Using the wrong jaws will not create the right compression profile and the fitting will leak. With SharkBite, the biggest problem is blow-offs. This almost always comes down to improper preparation. The pipe was not cut square, it was not deburred, or it was not pushed in to the correct depth. Always use a deburring tool and always mark your depth. Another issue is that SharkBite fittings do not play well with pipe that has any scratches, dents, or corrosion on the surface. The O-ring needs a clean, smooth surface to seal against. If the pipe is not in good condition, the fitting will leak. All right, here is that bonus tip I promised you. If you are doing any kind of copper repair work, whether it is solder, ProPress, or anything else, always pressure test your work before you close up the wall or ceiling. I know it sounds obvious, but you would be amazed how many guys turn the water on, check for drips real quick, and call it good. Here's what I do instead. I turn the water on and bring the system up to full pressure. Then I leave it pressurized for at least 15 to 30 minutes while I go do something else. Then I come back and check every single joint with a dry paper towel. I am not just looking for drips. I am feeling for moisture. A slow seep will not drip for hours, but it will show up as dampness on a paper towel in minutes. This one habit has saved me from more callbacks than I can count. A callback for a leak behind a wall is not just embarrassing. It is expensive. You are tearing out drywall, repairing the joint, patching and painting, and doing it all on your dime. 15 minutes of patience with a paper towel can save you hundreds of dollars and a whole lot of headaches. That wraps it up. If this was useful, you will love the full book. 50 step-by-step plumbing fixes with diagrams, all in one guide. Link is below. Hit subscribe so you do not miss the next video. Thanks for watching.